when you finally open the door of your heart, not to others, but to yourself and existence, you can never close it again. And all of life, your past pains and wounds, and all the times you turned away from love, will come rushing into the openness. For you have started on the path of the mystic, and the journey of the mystic is into the heart of life, into the unknown, and into the deepest reaches of love, a journey without end. I don't think we really know, and we never acknowledge just how much buried emotion, buried pain we carry. And because we can live these lives where we get by, some even thrive, some even attain success, whatever that means. But still, there's the tendency, or the overall zeitgeist, the times we live in, maybe even the times we've always lived in, to walk around with a really big bag of stuff inside and underneath us. We call it the shadow, but that's just a convenient way of describing it. It doesn't really kind of get to it. But here's the thing that I'm losing myself in the conversation of thinking about it. If and when something happens in your life, in life, and the heart, this vestibule, this container of love, a container of pain, a container of wounding and hurt, and that protected place in us. When that starts opening, or when we start becoming aware, deeply aware of, the fact that we've been carrying pain for a very long time, for years, all our lives in many ways. Once that starts opening, it doesn't really close again. I mean, what happens really when the heart starts opening and mind starts losing control? Because mind is fixated on control, and it controls our lives in so many ways, or at least it appears to control our lives in so many ways, and protects us through strategizing and through action, or through reaching out for things that bring us some comfort. But when the heart opens, mind loses control, or starts to lose control. And so this seeming almost battle starts of the vortex of the heart opening, things happening, life pouring in. Like I said at the beginning, life pours in when the heart starts opening. Everything starts coming in. The past, the present, the hurts, the wounds, the grievances, the sorrow, the grief, the anger. It all starts pouring in, which obviously can feel extremely overwhelming. And And so, you know, some of that is experienced, but then mind, you know, steps in, some part of us. There's a, you know, we have an innate sense of survival. And if we feel threatened on whatever level, on the existential level that we're talking about here, on the very, an almost primal, existential primal stroke emotional level, you know, then we'll only allow ourselves in many ways to go so far with that feeling of overwhelm as everything's pouring in. And mind will come back on track, try and make sense of it, kind of explain it, understand it, which is, you know, laudable, you know, that's not a bad idea, but it tries to understand it. But in a sense, what it's trying to do to some extent is to regain control of the organism, of the entity, of the individuation. And so this delicate or this swinging dance starts happening where the heart opens, starts opening, life experience, past wounds, etc. start pouring in because they want to come home to the essence of us. They want to come home, excuse me, they want to come home, those energies want to come home to the totality of us. If we don't see them as things, as with names, we just see them as energies that may have been stuck on some level of energy, then when there's an opening, when something opens, then those energies tend to want to start coming home to freedom, the freedom of just being a liberated energy. That's all that's all we are as energetic beings, with lots of concepts and projections and imaginations and interpretations, kind of built on those energies. And so there it is. But you know, the kind of the reason that I'm saying this and making this video is, one, to say, you know, it's inherent in us. If that process has kind of started, it's not even a process that is linear. It's a natural movement towards the wholeness of us, and the invitation is to trust ever deeper what's happening. Trust the movement, trust the swinging of it, because once the heart has started opening, excuse me, it doesn't stop. As long as there's a willingness, as long as there's a longing, as long as one can give oneself. If you give yourself to the fire, then you have to trust that the fire is going to burn up in its own time. You can't rush the fire. You know, it doesn't work like that. If you give yourself to the fire of transformation, kind of consciously, the more consciously you can do it, then the fire of transformation is invited and it will do its work. And all we have to do is surrender to it and surrender to it and allow it and allow it and allow it. And even when the mind comes back on track saying, you know, this is too much, this is overwhelming, I can't do this, what the hell is going on? I'm breaking down, I've lost control, I'm never going to be the same again. You know, I can't speak with my friends, I'm alienated from the whole damn existence. You know, all of these things, which is very much in many ways like Neo when he falls out of the unplugged from the matrix. It wasn't an easy unplugging. It wasn't an easy waking up. It wasn't an easy transformation, if you remember. And if you don't, you should look at the movie, because he's unplugged, you know, from the pods that he's in, and he falls through and he, you know, into reality, really, which happens at first is a dust cart or some dust bin or something. And he's taken onto the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, I think it is. And then he has to go through a really quite a profound transformation where things are waking up in him. He has 10,000 acupuncture needles to activate his body, which is kind of gone completely to sleep. It's been deadified because the functionality or the life of his body, the life force of his body is being given to the machines who want to use his life force as a battery. So this is a great kind of symbol for us, but then he has to, when he wakes up and he's in this new reality, which is reality, it's extraordinarily painful and very alienating for him. So it is for us. It can be extremely painful and it can be very alienating because suddenly, new things are happening. It's almost like, I would say, when this really this deeper and deeper unfolding happens, it's like being born again. It's like a rebirth. There's not much difference, except we're not physically being reborn. That's the only real difference. But this is going from one kind of way of being, which you can see eventually, you see as a dream, was a dream that was happening, born into a dream, and then starting to come out of the dream into reality. As far as we know. I don't know whether this is real reality, the bottom line reality, but it's certainly, in my experience, is that this feels much more real to walking around in a mind fog, in an emotional haze, buried pain and sort of acting from just egoic sort of Pavlovian ways. That didn't seem like that's not living, that's a dream. It's living in a dream. Consensus reality is largely a dream where people are pushed and prodded and they have no real conscious awareness of what actually is happening for them. And so this is the path of conscious awareness. But it's not just mind, it's heart. This is why I say it's the path of the mystic. Is the path that I'm interested in. Not everybody is. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in what happens when our reality starts to shake and all of that enters the vessel of the heart and goes through the heart. The heart has to be included completely. So there's a great calling to trust that and trust that and trust that no matter what comes, because when the heart opens, many things start to unfold, many things start to be revealed. And yes, for most people, the past is a big wound that's carried around unconsciously or consciously, but in a bag, and is we make valiant attempts to ignore it all our lives. And then you come to the realization, damn it, I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. But fixing it, trying to fix it just on the level of form, with the therapies and the somatics and all of these things are real good, because they can open up what was closed and they can start shaking the energeticness of us. But ultimately, they need to be held in a bowl of deeper awareness and deeper love. Because as I've said in videos and writings, unconditional love, when it's touched on deeper and deeper and deeper levels of us, actually heals by allowing things to have been the way that they were and things to be the way that they are. And that can't be faked, and it has to be arrived at as an inherent core truth of us. And so by and by on this journey we fall deeper and deeper into the mystery, and see that it is as it is. I am as I am. It was as it was. And this is a profound acceptance that we begin to fall into. But we have to find out for ourselves what this means. And that's the journey, man. That's the journey, my friend, is to find out what it means for ourselves. Because we can be told these things endlessly all our lives, and they don't mean anything, because it's just information. But information, has to go somewhere. And that's where really the heart, the heart is a symbol of something within us. It's almost a metaphor of us. It's not just the physical chamber of things. It's much deeper than that. It's kind of much more profound than that. So, what did I say at the beginning? When you finally open the door of your heart, not to others, but to yourself and existence, you can never close it again. And all of life, your past pains and wounds, and all the times you turned away from love, will come rushing into the openness. For you have started on the path of the mystic, and the journey of the mystic is into the heart of life, into the unknown, and into the deepest reaches of love. It's a journey without end. Okay, thank you.